I just saw a Florence police officer in Penrose sitting on the side of the road clocking people. He's on Highway 50, right before the Highway 115 junction. And then I'm cruising along, and I'm not gonna lie, I was going about 70 behind a sheriff deputy, Fremont County Sheriff Deputy. I'm heading westbound on Highway 50. I get up to the airport. There is a light. It's at Highway 67 and Highway 50. The light changes for us, so everybody slows down and make a stop, except that sheriff deputy who decides to turn on his lights and just go. And there's a person making a left-hand turn. Well, that person just so happens to be a fire truck from Juniper Valley. And I don't know if he saw him or not. It wasn't like anything like close call. So then I get ready to get my green arrow to make a left-hand turn onto Highway 60 to go into Florence. And this undercover, I don't know if he was state patrol or what, in a Dodge Charger all black, he decides that he's gonna pull off in the median. And so while the light's still red for me, and then halfway through my green light, he's in the middle of the intersection, and then pulls off into the median. And then I make the left-hand turn, and there's a police officer sitting right there at the very first road at the airport that you turn into, clocking cars. Technically, that's a Penrose jurisdiction as well, or I should say Fremont County Sheriff's Department's jurisdiction. And then I'm heading into Florence, and I see a state patrol going northbound on Highway 67. So I've decided to go ahead and record just my short little trip from Penrose to Florence, which is about 5 miles, because I'm not really trusting the police down here lately. They've been almost causing accidents. They have been doing some kind of pulling all kinds of cars over left and right on the highway, and I don't know if it's for speeding, and I've seen several people getting arrested on the side of the road. And that's fine, let them do their job, but if they're going to cause accidents and do that, then I'm going to cover my ass and I'm going to record this shit. So here you go. Obviously, I stopped to get cigarettes, and now I'm going to head back to Penrose from Florence. Literally like a less than 5-minute drive. Well, not 5 minutes, but it's 5 miles. And I think I'll go the same way going back to Penrose, just so you all can see the craziness of all these police officers sitting on the side of the road. obviously we either have an old person or someone who's been pulled over very recently. They're going exactly 20 in a 25, going on a 35. Here's a 35-mile-an-hour zone. We're barely getting up to speed. Apparently, they've been pulled over one too many times in Florence and think that they're okay to speed up the hill. Well, I think to a certain point, this is still Florence PD's jurisdiction. They are pretty strict on speed in their town, but their town is only like something like 2,600. Oh, here we go. There's that undercover car. There he is, coming down the hill. Following a white Jeep. I wonder what he's gonna do. I like to think that when they're driving those undercover cars, they think they're shady. But everything about those cars screams cop. Got the searchlights on the sides. You can see their lights in their windshields and their back windows. And you can see the cage inside the cars. It's pretty funny. Alright, now we're in a high school zone. The high school zone says that we can go 30 miles an hour when the lights are flashing. 35 when they're not flashing. Like I said, I think this car in front of me has probably been pulled over a few too many times. Driving like scared. And now we're in a 50. I'm not too sure, but Florence High School, from what I understand, from what I can remember as dispatcher, was considered the county. There goes that Florence cop that was sitting outside Penrose by 115 and Highway 50. But I know that Florence PD has jurisdiction over at least their, what they call their SRO, their school resource officer. They have a Florence officer stationed at the high school. And, oh, that Florence police officer pulled someone over back there. Not really sure why everybody's out and about, pulling everybody over right and left. And that's fine, they're doing their job, and that's good. As long as it doesn't cause an accident. But the difference between Florence is the zip code and the jurisdiction. The zip code in Florence is 81226. The zip code in Penrose, which is county, is 81240. And they're roughly 4 to 5 miles apart. And here goes that other police officer going the other way. I don't know if it's because the sheriff's office is understaffed or if they're going through some controversy right now or what's going on with that. I'm not knocking the police and what they do. What I am uberly upset about is the way that they are handling their speed traps. It's going to cause an accident. Someone's going to get very hurt. And it is going to be a liability. Oh, we got an airplane landing above us. And the population of Florence is smaller than the population of Penrose, but Penrose is not, it's not annexed part of another town or anything like that. It's its own little entity, its own little town, but we don't have a mayor, we don't have a city hall, none of that. They're unaffiliated, unincorporated, and that is why they're considered county's jurisdiction. And I'm not really sure why all these Florence police officers have been sitting out in Penrose like they own the place. And I'm certain, I'm 100% certain that the citizens of Penrose that keep fighting the incorporation of the two cities is getting a little bit upset about it, because we don't pay taxes to Florence City. We pay taxes to the county, and the county's never out there when you need them out there. State Patrol's hardly ever out there too when you need them. I live in an area where it is 45 miles per hour on 115, and it's literally in front of my house. And I can tell you right now that no one does 45 miles per hour. It's usually 60 to 75 miles per hour. There's been very deadly accidents basically right in front of my house because of this. Because there's a lot of small streets across the highway. And I've complained to State Patrol many times, and still to this day nothing. They'll sit out there for a few days, and then once they feel like the heat is off from the local citizens who called to report these speeders, then they back off, and then they go somewhere else. They say that they're short-staffed, which is fine. They probably are. Doesn't surprise me. Not a whole lot of people wanting to go into law enforcement. Not a lot of people staying in law enforcement. And once you've been in law enforcement, you'll kind of know why people don't stay in law enforcement. Because everybody's pretty much a backstabber. But it looks like we're pretty much clear all the way back to my house. See, there was a state patrolman who was on Highway 67 when I went to Florence. And he was headed northbound, like maybe he was going to Canyon or Penrose. But see, we got cars up here going 85, 90 miles an hour in a 65. And this used to be their speed trap zone, which I thought was good, because even I had to, you know, hold back a little bit. But the problem is that no one sits over here anymore, and it is 4:22 in the afternoon, and everybody's getting off of work and getting out of school, and we got teenager drivers on the road too. And there is not a state trooper ever sitting down here anymore. So it's pretty much, you know, if you're going 85, 90 miles an hour, you're going to get away with it. Then you got people that impede traffic. I've been behind two semis, one in each lane, literally gone like 55 miles an hour in a 65, hence the cracked windshield, because they can do whatever they want, because there is no state trooper to keep things in line. And the Florence police officers, they think, well, we're going to go down there and we're going to sit and we're going to bust a whole lot of people, and that's fine. And technically, their jurisdiction is, once you're a sworn officer, you can pretty much pull anybody over. As long as you're in uniform and you have your badge and your ID, you can pretty much pull over and assist with accidents, things like that. It's usually, and you can actually give tickets as long as it's within your county or whatever. But usually that's against, you know, the city's policies, that they shouldn't be going outside of their jurisdiction, because a lot of the time you can't really get a ticket to stick when it's outside of your general jurisdiction. So this is a 45-mile-an-hour zone. As you can see in front of me, the truck that was in front of me, he's way up the road. So he's got to be doing, I'm close to 50 now, so he's got to be doing close to 60. So, and here's the school bus, so you know I'm legit when I'm telling you that school is out. And the traffic is much, much thicker. And I have called State Patrol and told them this is the best time to be out here, the best time to catch speeders going 60 and 70 miles an hour in a 45. And we just turned off onto basically my street. And like I said, I am pretty much right behind, or right in front of the highway. As you can see, this is now a residential area, which, by the way, no one follows the speed laws out here in Penrose. I've seen cars going down my street at 65, 70 miles an hour. And I have kids that play on their bikes out in the street because there is no sidewalks. But anyway, enough with my gripe. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye.